Hello friends, welcome to a new chapter today. In this chapter we are going to learn about neoplasms. What is neoplasia? Neoplasia is the process of new growth is called as neoplasia. We have something called as oncology. The study of tumor is called as oncology. Onco means tumor, logy is study. So study of tumor is oncology. For any tumor we have two things which are important. One, we have parenchyma, second we have stroma. So parenchyma is made up of proliferating neoplastic cells. The parenchyma is made up of proliferating neoplastic cells, whereas if you see the stroma is made up of connective blood vessels. Parenchyma is made up of proliferative neoplastic cells, whereas stroma is made up of blood vessels, right? Tumor can also be divided into two types. One, we have it as benign tumor, and second we have malignant tumor. See, if we have more stroma, that means it is more firm. Having more stroma means that it is more firm. Having more parenchyma is it has more medullary appearance. More stroma, we have more firm appearance, and if it has more parenchyma, then it has more medullary appearance, right? This is important. Then if you see malignancy in tumor can be benign or malignant. For benign there is a suffix oma attached to it. So if you see for benign we have fibroma, chordoma, cartilage. Chordoma is for cartilage cells, osteoma for osteoblasts, tumor arising from osteoblasts. Adenoma is the tumor arising from epithelial cells arising from glands or glandular pattern. We have papilloma for finger like projection. We have polyp where tumor is producing a viable projection above the mucosal surface protruding into the lumen. Okay. Then we have malignant tumor also. The malignant tumors include, we have two types. One, we have sarcoma, which is arising from the mesenchymal cells. Second, we have carcinoma, which is arising from the epithelial cells. If it is glandular, we call it as adenocarcinoma. We call it as carcinoma if it is arising from the epithelial cells. We call malignant tumor arising from the mesenchymal cells as sarcoma. Okay. Now, what are the lesions which have name like tumor, but they are not actually the tumor lesions? They have the name which will make us think as tumors, but they are not the tumors. So these include, first we have choristoma. And second we have hamartoma. See, what is choristoma? So this choristoma is actually a normal arranged tissue which is present at different anatomical site. It is normal tissue, but it is present at a different site. So that is heterotopic rests of cells. So for example, presence of pancreatic tissue in the mucosa of small intestine is choristoma. Okay. Then we have one more type which is called as hamartoma. What do you see in this hamartoma? In this hamartoma, there is abnormal arranged tissue in normal site. Here the site is normal, but the tissue is abnormal. That is disorganized mass of blood vessels or cartilage in the lung. Normally we do not have blood vessels or cartilage in the lung, but if there are blood vessels and cartilage in the lung, then we call it as hamartoma. So whenever there is abnormally arranged tissue at normal site is hamartoma. Then after hamartoma, the next thing which is important is about the characteristics of neoplasia. So neoplasia can have the following characteristics. One, the neoplasia can be anaplasia. It has the characteristic of anaplasia. So what is anaplasia? Anaplasia is the hallmark of malignant transformation. So here there is anaplasia is there is absence of differentiation. There is no differentiation in anaplasia. In anaplasia, the characteristics of anaplasia include, there is pleomorphism. Pleomorphism is variation in size and shape of the cells. There is hyperchromasia, where there is increase in nuclear material or DNA, so thus causing dark staining of cells, which is called as hyperchromasia. We have dark staining of cells. This hyperchromasia is normally, if you see, nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio is 1:4 normally, but in anaplasia nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio is equal to 1:1. There is increased mitosis, which represents the atypical bizarre mitotic figures. then it has loss of polarity due to disturbed orientation of anaplastic cells. There are presence of tumor giant cells and also big hyperchromatic nuclei is seen. There is tumor giant cells and big hyperchromatic nuclei is also seen. It is irreversible features are seen. So this is about anaplasia. In anaplasia, you see, it is the hallmark of malignant transformation. There is absence of differentiation. Here the features are, you see, pleomorphism, hyperchromasia, then anaplasia with nuclear to cytoplasmic ratio is equal to 1:1. There is increased mitosis, that is atypical bizarre mitotic figures are seen. Loss of polarity is seen due to disturbed orientation of anaplastic cells. Tumor giant cells plus big hyperchromatic nuclei is seen, and this anaplasia is irreversible. Then we have the next important thing, which is rate of growth. Rate of growth correlates with the level of differentiation. Rate of growth is actually inversely proportional to the level of differentiation. If it is well differentiated tumor, if the differentiation is very good, then there is slow growth. If there is poorly differentiated tumor, then there is high growth. So for example, if you see cancer stem cells or tumor initiating cells, these are identified in breast carcinoma, glioblastoma multiforme, acute myeloid leukemia. These will allow the tumor to grow. We have these cancer cells or tumor initiating cells. Where are they found? These cancer stem cells or tumor initiating cells are mainly found in breast carcinoma, glioblastoma multiforme and acute myeloid leukemia. They are found in breast carcinoma, glioblastoma multiforme and acute myeloid leukemia. They will allow the tumor to grow. Then the second reliable factor is local invasion. You see, there is presence of local invasion is seen, which is the second most important reliable factor that differentiates the benign from malignant. Differentiate the malignant from benign. If you see malignant, the malignant tumor has invasion, it will infiltrate to the and destroys the surrounding tissues. Whereas benign tumors, if you see, they are slow growing and they are expansile and well encapsulated. So if you see malignant tumors are, they have invasion and they have infiltration and destruction of surrounding tissues. Whereas if you see benign tumors are slow growing, cohesive and expansile mass, they show cohesive expansile mass which is well encapsulated, is benign tumors. Then we have the next important thing, which is about metastasis is important. Metastasis is the most reliable feature of malignant tumor. So this is the most reliable feature. If there is metastasis, then it is definitely the malignant tumor. Most reliable feature is metastasis. Normally the number of cell divisions required for clinical manifestation is 30 cell divisions. If there are 30 cell divisions, then that will clinically be manifested. Okay, for clinical manifestation we should have minimum of 30 cell divisions. Then we have angiogenesis. Angiogenesis is actually activated by angiogenesis is also a good feature of malignant tumor, and it is mainly activated by vascular endothelial growth factor and fibroblast growth factor, and this is inhibited by angiostatin, endostatin or bevacizumab. It is inhibited by angiostatin, endostatin or bevacizumab. So what are the characteristics? Anaplasia, rate of growth. The main characteristics include anaplasia, rate of cell growth, then we have local invasion, then metastasis are the main 4 characteristics of tumor carcinoma. Then we have to know about the pathways of spread. So in the pathways of spread, okay, some will directly spread. Okay, some have direct seedling of body surfaces and cavities. That is, these will directly spread through the body surface, and the tumors which directly spread through the body surface include, there is involvement of peritoneal cavity in ovarian cancer, or involvement of abdominal viscera in mucus secreting appendiceal cancer, that is pseudomyxoma peritonei. In pseudomyxoma peritonei, that is appendiceal cancer, there is involvement of surface abdominal viscera. or involvement of peritoneal cavity in ovarian cancer. So these are direct seedlings of body cavities or surfaces. Then we have second type, which is lymphatic spread. Okay, in lymphatic spread, most common lymph node which is involved in this most common carcinoma associated with lymphatic spread is carcinoma. Most common cancer associated with lymphatic spread is carcinoma. It generally follows the natural route of the lymphatic spread, and here we have something called as sentinel lymph node. This sentinel lymph node is the first lymph node to receive lymph flow from the tumor. The first lymph node to receive lymph flow from primary tumor is sentinel lymph node. So the sentinel lymph nodes are present in breast carcinoma, vulval carcinoma, melanoma and penile carcinoma. So in breast carcinoma, vulval carcinoma, melanoma and penile carcinoma, this sentinel lymph nodes, lymphatic spread is very important. Then we have the next thing about hematogenous spread. Hematogenous spread most commonly occurs in sarcomas. Okay, most commonly hematogenous spread occurs in sarcomas. Here thinner walls of veins causes preferential invasion. So most common organisms where there is a hematogenous spread include liver, lung, and in some there is invasion of veins are seen in renal cell carcinoma and hepatocellular carcinoma. In renal cell carcinoma and hepatocellular carcinoma there is invasion of veins, but most common organs involved in this hematogenous spread are liver and lung. Okay, that is hematogenous spread, which is for sarcomas. Lymphatic spread for carcinomas. Then if we see, after this we also have CSF spread. Where do you see CSF spread? CSF spread is mainly associated with drop metastasis. It is seen in medulloblastoma. Okay, it is associated with medulloblastoma. If you were asked about one-liner, what is the maximum mass of tumor cells which are compatible with life, is 10 to the power of 12 cells, that is 1 kg. If a person has 10 to the power of 12 cells or 1 kg of this tumor mass, then he can live, or else if he has more than 1 kg of tumor mass, then he cannot live. See, in these malignant tumors there is increased telomerase activity. If there are 10 to the power of 9 cells, 10 to the power of 9 cells are present, then that is clinically detectable tumor. See, 10 to the power of 12 cells, then the tumor is compatible with life, but 10 to the power of 9 cells are there, then it is clinically detectable tumor. All cancers metastasize. In our body, if you see, all the cancers present in our body can metastasize except 2 which cannot metastasize. They include glioma and rodent cell ulcer. So glioma cannot metastasize, rodent ulcer or basal cell carcinoma cannot metastasize. Both these are carcinomas, cancers, but they do not metastasize. Then if you see, we have to know a property called as desmoplasia. So what is this desmoplasia? Desmoplasia is stimulation of abundant collagenous stroma by parenchymal tissue. The parenchymal tissue will stimulate the collagenous stroma, that is called as desmoplasia. This is seen in Linitis plastica, colon carcinoma and breast carcinoma. Desmoplasia is a feature of Linitis plastica, colon cancer and breast cancer. So what are the patterns of spread? Direct seedling of body cavities and surfaces, lymphatic spread, hematogenous spread, CSF spread, and we have also seen about dysplasia. Now, what are the precursor inflammations? So if you see the precursor lesions, so these are the lesions which might predispose to the carcinoma. So these are of 3 types. These are the localized morphological change which have high risk of carcinoma. So these are present in, these include primary inflammation, we have with inflammation, these are associated with inflammation, associated without inflammation, and these are benign tumors with malignant transformation. So these include, first we have with inflammation, these include Barrett's esophagus, squamous cell metaplasia in the bronchus due to smoking, then colonic metaplasia in the stomach due to pernicious anemia. So all these are the lesions with inflammation. Then if you see the lesions without inflammation, the lesions without inflammation include endometrial hyperplasia, leukoplakia of oral cavity, penis and vulva. These are the lesions without inflammation, but these are precursor lesions for carcinoma. They are predisposing to carcinoma. Then if you see, we have benign and malignant transformation is seen. This tumor with benign lesion is undergoing malignant transformation is colonic adenoma. This includes colonic adenoma. Colonic adenoma is actually a benign lesion, but it is undergoing malignant transformation. Okay, so this is about the precursor lesions. So thank you guys for watching my lecture. In the next class we will learn about the monoclonality of tumors. Thank you.